Hey everyone, Average T here, and today we're doing something that I don't do often, and that is trying something again. Yes, in the lead up to the film's release, I covered an iceberg about the at the time upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and then, well, it came out, and boy howdy did it give us lots of stuff. So much so that my original video was a little outdated, and so I decided that now that the film has come out, I make a new, extremely expansive, massively updated, ultimate FNAF movie iceberg explained video. Okay, spoilers ahead, obviously. I'd like to give a massive shout out to CleverKid12 for creating the fantastic image chart we'll be using today. He created the original iceberg image and then made a new one after the release, so thank you so much, man, I really appreciate it. And while I have you here, I recently started a new channel called The Lil T Show, where I run an episodic gaming show on a whole range of topics. It's really fun and we've got a handful of episodes for you to watch right now. We've just reached 1,000 subscribers, and it would mean the world to us if you could support our channel by heading over and subscribing. We're trying to get the channel monetized, so if you could check it out, that would be immensely appreciated. It's right there, the top right. Did you click it? Wonderful! You just avoided a massive leak for the FNAF 2 film that I was about to throw at you. That's a joke. I swear I wouldn't do that. With all that being said, let's get started. Scott Cawthon. Scott Braden Cawthon is an American video game developer, animator, writer, and philanthropist, best known as the creator of the Five Nights at Freddy's game franchise. Over the years, Cawthon has been involved in the development of numerous other indie games, though most are no longer available on his official website. Before FNAF, Cawthon produced a variety of games, a notable one being Chipper & Sons Lumber Company. However, these early projects faced criticism, with many commenting that the characters appeared and moved eerily like animatronic figures. This critique was initially disheartening for Cawthon, and he contemplated leaving the field of game development altogether. Yet instead of giving up, he cleverly embraced this criticism. In a turn of events, he leveraged this animatronic characterization and decided to create a game intentionally designed to be creepy. This gave birth to the FNAF series, which capitalized on the eerie animatronic characters and the horror that they could instill in a seemingly ordinary pizza restaurant setting. Since then, FNAF has now blown up into a multi-million-dollar franchise spanning books, spin-offs, merchandise, and of course, a film. F Screenplay. This entry and the following screenplay entries refers to a different group of concepts for a FNAF movie screenplay posted by Scott Cawthon on the FNAF subreddit in November of 2022. This one was about a group of teenage troublemakers who break into Freddy's, leading to chaos. Interestingly, the story ended with the protagonist discovering a secret underground factory manufacturing animatronics for the government. Despite its intriguing premise, Scott found it deviated significantly from the original FNAF lore, causing it to be ultimately rejected. Plushies Take Manhattan screenplay. The Plushies Take Manhattan screenplay was a thing. It's unclear if this was just a joke or an actual screenplay, but Scott noted it was burned with fire. Cassidy screenplay. This screenplay delved deep into the FNAF lore by following the story of Cassidy, the spirit-possessing Golden Freddy. However, the screenplay's complex narrative, which spanned multiple timelines and included characters and lore from various games, ended up saturating the plot. While this could have been appealing to hardcore fans, it risked alienating casual viewers due to its complexity and was thus rejected. Misfit Kid screenplay. The Misfit Kid screenplay followed a single mother and her child who moved to a new town and stumble upon Freddy's. Although the setup was reasonable, apparently the reasons given for the child's interaction and ongoing misadventures at Freddy's felt forced, and more or less felt like a campy boy and his animatronic movie. Despite the story not having any major flaws, it was eventually discarded as the connection with the characters was lacking. Silver Eyes screenplay. The Silver Eyes screenplay was an attempt by Scott Cawthon and Kira Breed Risley, the co-author of the FNAF books, to adapt the first book of the series into a film. Despite their efforts over the course of a year to make it work, the screenplay didn't come together due to Scott's self-admitted inexperience in writing screenplays. Random Charlie screenplay. This screenplay focused on the character Charlie and her friends sneaking into Freddy's to retrieve a lost toy. The problem here was that despite their characters sharing names with their counterparts from the games and books, they had no connection to them. This made the screenplay feel like a jumbled mix of FNAF elements with no real stakes and would just confuse theorists. Mike screenplay. The Mike screenplay was the final and chosen screenplay for the FNAF movie. According to Scott, in the original Reddit post, it combined the best parts of all previous screenplays without their individual problems. It was seen as fun, scary, and with a great central story. Josh Hutcherson. Josh Hutcherson is an actor known for his roles in numerous high-profile projects, including the Hunger Games franchise, where he played Peeta Mellark. In the FNAF movie, he takes on the role of Mike Schmidt, the security guard facing the ominous task of surviving Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The majority of the audience felt that his portrayal of Mike, a character burdened with trauma and guilt over his past failures and the loss of his brother, was effectively conveyed. His emotional depth shone through, especially in the dream sequences, where he demonstrated a profound connection with the character. Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard, known for his memorable performances in films like Scream and Scooby-Doo, plays William Afton, otherwise known as Steve Raglan, the owner of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Lillard has a knack for playing sinister and eccentric characters, such as Stu from Scream, making him a fitting choice for Afton. Most audiences found him to be the standout of the film, capturing the essence of a man with a god complex who is, in reality, a coward afraid of confronting the consequences of his actions. However, they felt his screen time was insufficient to fully explore the depth of his character. Blumhouse. Blumhouse Productions, known for its successful and innovative ventures in the horror genre, took the reins of the FNAF film project in March 2017, as announced by Scott, after Warner Bros. Decided not to move forward with the project. This marked a significant turning point in the film, as Blumhouse has a strong reputation for bringing forth creative visions in the horror industry, including high-profile projects like Get Out, Paranormal Activity, and Insidious. Jason Blum, the founder of Blumhouse, expressed his excitement in the project and stated that he was working closely with Cawthon on the film, indicating a collaborative and supportive relationship. However, in June 2017, the then director Gil Keenan stepped away from the project, which led to Blumhouse bringing in Chris Columbus in February 2018. In October, Emma Tammy was announced as the new director, replacing Columbus. Despite the challenges faced during production, Blumhouse's track record of successful horror films and their commitment to realizing Cawthon's vision for the FNAF movie instilled confidence in the film's ultimate success. Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Jim Henson's Creature Shop is a legendary name in the realm of puppetry, animatronics, and special effects. Established by the pioneering puppeteer Jim Henson, the creator of the iconic Muppets, the Creature Shop has spent decades enhancing the magic of visual storytelling. Founded in 1979, the Creature Shop was originally set up to create and build fantastical creatures for Henson's ambitious project, The Dark Crystal. Since then, they've left their mark on film, TV, and advertising industries. In 2022, Jason Blum announced in a tweet that the Creature Shop would be working on animatronics for the FNAF movie. And then, the Creature Shop itself would post several images during the process of building, which we'll get into more later. Emma Tammy. Emma Tammy is a New York-based filmmaker who entered the industry under the influence of her actor parents. She studied at Wesleyan University and took an internship with the influential director Robert Altman before debuting her feature-length documentary Fair Chase in 2014, co-directed with Alex Cullen. She then made her solo directorial debut with the horror movie The Wind in 2018, exploring themes of loneliness and possibly supernatural occurrences on the prairie. After many years, Tammy joined the FNAF movie as director in October of 2022, with pretty little time to waste. In interviews, Tammy expressed her excitement and the challenges of adapting a beloved video game into a film. She discussed her efforts to remain true to the game's lore while also making the film accessible to a wider audience, including younger viewers. FNAF, the movie, the game. On October 18th, 2023, almost 2 weeks before the release of the film, Scott made a post on Reddit.
Hey everyone, I have a big surprise for the community today in anticipation of the movie's release next week. The production team and myself have been working secretly for about 2 years on a movie-based video game. It was originally going to go on sale for about $40 to coincide with the movie's release date, but we've talked it over and we decided that we wanted to release it for free as a thank you to this community. If you follow this link on GameJolt, you can download the installer, which is just a few hundred megabytes. The game itself is about 12 gigabytes once fully downloaded. It features actual scenes from the film and voice acting from the actors as well. It's been a labor of love for a long time and I'm glad it's finally ready to share. As a warning though, this game contains major spoilers. It basically gives away the plot of the whole movie, so only download the game if you're okay with that. And please, don't spoil it for everyone else. Here's the link for the official game of Five Nights at Freddy's, the movie.
It was a troll, like usual. This actually revealed Freddy in Space 3, Chica in Space. What a guy. Posters. The first official posters for the FNAF movie were released by Blumhouse in May 2023 after a short countdown by Jason Blum on Twitter. These posters prominently showcased Freddy, Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie, highlighted individually and collectively in one poster. In all the posters, a sinister red light emanates from their eyes. There's also this poster with all of them standing outside the building, but I never liked this one. The color scheme doesn't work for me and it just doesn't look overly that appealing, so I just try and forget it exists. Trailers. Blumhouse released its first teaser trailer on May 16th, 2023, attracting a whopping 27 million views on Universal Pictures' YouTube channel. The first trailer largely capitalized on the franchise's iconic atmosphere. However, the full official trailer, which dropped on June 27th, 2023, sparked mixed reactions from fans and critics alike. Joshua Rivera, in his review, expressed concerns that the trailer may have revealed too much about the movie's plot, undermining the franchise's characteristic mystery. Despite garnering over 19 million views, the trailer was criticized for laying heavy on exposition, potentially diminishing the film's horror impact. This led to confusion about what type of horror the movie was aiming for, be it over the top and goofy, or filled with genuine frights. With hindsight, we can say both. Long live the fort scene! Freddy and Abby teaser poster. This entry discusses the first official teaser poster for the film. The image portrays a golden Freddy holding the hand of Abby, Mike's younger sister, outside of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, taken from the third act of the film, where those two characters take a taxi to the restaurant. This was our first look at really anything of the film, and people were extremely confused as to what kind of Freddy this was, with the broken ear and the yellow hue hinting at old Yeller over here. Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt, played by I can't whistle, diverges notably from his video game origins. In the film, Mike is a security guard at Freddy Fazbear's, burdened with the past traumas and the responsibility of caring for his younger sister, Abby. In the movie, he isn't related to William Afton, and instead has his own tragic family history. His motivations for working at Freddy's are grounded in necessity. Mike's familial setup in the film includes a younger sister, Abby, and an abducted brother, Garrett, differing from his game's counterpart, who has a sister named Elizabeth and an unnamed brother. I still say it's Evan, but like, whatever. The portrayal of Mike in the film was generally well received, with audiences appreciating Hutcherson's emotional depth, especially in scenes that explored Mike's inner struggles and connections. Interviews. As of the date of this video, there have been a few interviews during the process of bringing the FNAF movie to life. During an interview with IGN, Jason Blum discussed his fascination with bringing the FNAF universe to the big screen. Despite being ridiculed internally within his company for pursuing the project, Blum was fueled by the challenge it presented. He shared the years-long development process of the film, citing numerous hurdles they had to overcome. One notable obstacle was the first screenplay that was discarded entirely as it didn't match Scott's vision. Despite these challenges, Blum explained how they eventually found the structure that worked for them and the film was made. Blum made a comparison between the FNAF movie and his studio's earlier success, Paranormal Activity. Both films were deemed unlikely to succeed and both ended up breaking the mold. The element of being an underdog was something that Blum cherished, and he used this as motivation to prove his doubters wrong. In a separate interview, Matthew Lillard revealed intriguing information about his commitment to the FNAF franchise. He mentioned signing a 3-picture deal, implying that fans could expect at least 2 more films in the series. Since then, several behind-the-scenes videos have come out of interviews with the cast that couldn't have been released due to the SAG-AFTRA strike. Pizzeria sign. The Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place sign was brought to life by the skilled team at Signworks LLC. Before any official teasers, trailers, or posters were released, Signworks provided fans with the first glimpse of the film's world-building effort through a video they shared on their Facebook page. The video, which has since been deleted, documented the construction process of the sign. Several behind-the-scenes images showcase the Signworks team meticulously working on the sign. On closer inspection, it's clear that Freddy's head and logo appears to be traced from the cover of the survival logbook. YouTuber visits. In a classic Scott Cawthon sort of way, he extended an exclusive invitation to a handful of notable YouTubers in the FNAF community. Dawko, Razbowski, 8-Bit Ryan, and Baz, all known for their engaging FNAF content, were invited to visit the movie set in Louisiana. Each of these YouTubers documented their journey through individual vlogs, providing their followers with a behind-the-scenes look at the movie's production and even taking photos with Scott. William Afton / Steve Raglan. William Afton, played by Matthew Lillard, is just, I don't know, what do you want me to say? He's the character. In the 1980s, as an associate of Fazbear Entertainment, he notoriously murdered several children at the pizzeria, hiding their bodies inside the restaurant's animatronics, which led to the animatronics becoming possessed. Decades later, adopting the alias Steve Raglan, Afton manipulates people into working the night shift at Freddy's, where the animatronics target them under his control. This includes the film's protagonist, Mike, who is unknowingly drawn to Afton's web of terror. Mike is haunted by the loss of his younger brother Garrett, who was abducted by Afton and becomes an unwitting pawn in Afton's plan. Matthew Lillard's portrayal has been since praised as one of the best performances in the movie, if not the best. Emma Tammy described casting Matthew Lillard as William Afton as the #1 role that we really had the fan base in mind for. That being said, there are indeed some differences between Afton's characterization in the games versus the film, such as in the games, William speaks in a sort of southeastern English methodical accent, but Lillard speaks in an American accent that eventually becomes psychotic and unhinged. Website. Launched in May 2022, the official website for the FNAF movie initially showcased just the film's logo. As the movie progressed, the website evolved, incorporating released posters and the eagerly awaited trailer. It also provides a synopsis of the film, an option to remind you of the release date, a video and image gallery sections, and listing the film's social medias. Speaking of which, social media. In June 2023, Universal Pictures expanded the marketing for the FNAF movie by launching new Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria social media accounts across Twitter and TikTok. In addition to these, Facebook and Instagram pages were also created. These accounts primarily display the film's posters and trailers. Abby Schmidt. Abby Schmidt, portrayed by Piper Rubio, is a new character that was created for the movie. She's the younger sister of Mike, known for her inquisitiveness, bravery, creativity, and keen intuition. Abby is somewhat of a loner who tends to express herself through her drawings. Having been raised by her less than reliable brother Mike in the absence of their parents, she's learned to become quite self-reliant, yet still displays the typical emotional vulnerability and imaginative nature of a 10-year-old child. In the movie, Abby's role becomes increasingly significant as the story unfolds. She becomes friends with the animatronics, and due to her kindness, the animatronics wish to keep Abby and make her like them, quote-unquote. She becomes increasingly close with the spirit-possessing Golden Freddy, who kills her aunt and takes her to the pizzeria for the climax. She uses her drawing skills to help her brother understand and confront the dark history of Freddy's, as well as to lift Afton's brainwashing from the animatronics. Aunt Jane / Jane Afton. Aunt Jane is a new character played by Mary Stuart Masterson. Initially, there was much speculation about her character's identity and background. First shared alongside other cast reveals as just an unnamed female villain during Dawko's charity livestream, fans had loads of theories ranging from her being William Afton's wife, to possibly being Vanessa's mother, or related to Cassidy. In the movie's plot, Aunt Jane is the estranged aunt of Mike and Abby Schmidt, driven by her desire to gain custody of Abby, primarily for the monthly payment it entails. She hires a gang of vandals, including Abby's babysitter Max, to vandalize the restaurant in an attempt to get Mike fired, to prove he's unwilling to take care of Abby. This action indirectly leads to the vandals' death at the hands of the animatronics and results in Mike having to bring Abby to his night shift at Freddy's. Later, when she is babysitting Abby, she is killed by Golden Freddy's spirit, who then takes Abby to the pizzeria. There was initial speculation that she could be Aunt Jane from the novels, who was actually the sister of Henry Emily, the co-owner of Fredbear's Family Diner and the creator of the animatronics. However, the film's narrative obviously diverges from these initial theories. Something to note though is that IMDb briefly listed Masterson's character as Jane Afton before correcting it to Aunt Jane. This could lead to further speculation that Jane might be related to William. However, the film presents Aunt Jane as a separate entity, focusing on her role in the story surrounding Mike and Abby. SAG-AFTRA strike. The SAG-AFTRA strike, which began on July 14th, 2023, had a significant impact on the film industry, including the production and the promotion of the FNAF movie. The strike was initiated by the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, and involved actors stepping away from the promotional activities and instead going on protests. This act was part of a broader industry-wide conflict regarding the advancement and implications of generative AI technology, which actors saw as a potential threat to their careers. For the FNAF movie, this meant that the actors were not able to engage in promotional activities for the film. Despite this challenge, The movie managed to perform well at the box office, relying on its trailers, merchandise, and its iconography for promotion. On November 8, 2023, a tentative deal between the two sides was reached, with striking ending on November 9th at 12:01 a.m. Pacific Time. Halloween Horror Nights Behind the Scream appearance. The Halloween Horror Nights 2023 at Universal Studios Hollywood featured an attraction called Blumhouse Behind the Screams, which showcased a variety of merchandise/props from Blumhouse horror films. This unique experiences allowed guests to experience the films up close with authentic film props, costume displays, and character encounters. One of the highlights was the inclusion of the unwithered life-size animatronics from the FNAF movie standing in a circle for photo ops. And that's like extremely cool. The experience also included other elements such as a photo op for the Black Phone and displays from The Purge and The Invisible Man. A look inside. The FNAF movie released a featurette titled A Look Inside to give fans a deeper insight into the film. This behind-the-scenes glimpse includes commentary from the cast such as Josh Hutcherson, Matthew Lillard, Piper Rubio, Emma Tammy, Jason Blum, and the animatronic Superformers, and showcases the creative process behind bringing the series to life on the big screen. MatPat. Matthew Patrick, known as MatPat, is the creator and retiring host of The Game Theorists on YouTube, and is known for dissecting the FNAF lore and thinking sans is Ness. Many people were expecting him to make an appearance in the film due to his contributions to FNAF's popularity with his theories, and he's collaborated with Scott for FNAF X Game Theory, for FNAF and Game Theory merchandise. However, MatPat, with his numerous YouTube channels and parental responsibilities, is an extremely busy guy. His reactions to the at the time trailers seemed genuine, as if it was his first time seeing them, leading some fans to feel he may have been overlooked for a cameo. Others thought his silence and history as a Broadway actor might indicate a surprise cameo in the film. And then, the film was released, and everyone in my theater collectively cheered and screamed when we saw MatPat in the FNAF movie. He is seen as a waiter named Ness at Sparky's Diner, serving Jane and her bandits when they discuss how to get Abby. During his scene, MatPat asks them about what they want, and then speaks about how lunch is the most important meal of the day, even more than breakfast. He then delivers his iconic line, "That's just a theory."
It's just a theory. Are you being
His inclusion in the film is a really great moment and some really fantastic fan service. Critics. The FNAF movie received a mixed response from critics, reflecting a range of opinions on its adaptation and whether it works as a standalone film and as a good adaptation for the fans. Ian Bunting from the Daily Record suggests that while the ending sets up a sequel, there was a hope for more fear and dread in future installments. Chris Parker from 3C Films described it as a tame yet enjoyable experience for fans of the game, though it might leave newcomers feeling lost. Mark Meseros from the News Herald claimed the film failed to fully embrace its potential as a zany, over-the-top romp, while Tim Cogshell from Film Week humorously noted that the movie would have been fine with an addition like Nicolas Cage. Matt Pate, no relation to MatPat, remarked how the film was deeply unpleasant and quite a ridiculous mix of genres, while Murtada Alfada from Variety pointed out the film's focus on Mike's familial issues, leading to a lifeless narrative. RobertEbert.com noted the film had most of the right elements for a good kiddie fright fest, but lacked good dialogue and distinct characters. The review praised Emma Tammy's attention to evocative details, but criticized the film for too many empty symbols of nostalgia and a narrative that feels both too fast and too slow. Currently, the FNAF movie has a critical score of 30% and an audience score of 87%. Those are, really different numbers. On Metacritic, the film received a generally favorable user score of 8.0, with 80% positive ratings. Film Threat appreciated the film as an excellent adaptation that feels like the game while being accessible to newcomers. Screen Rant gave a more lukewarm review, calling it middling entertainment. The Austin Chronicle critiqued the film for its dreary visuals and lack of real twists or scares, noting it might be a good introduction to horror for young newcomers. 8-bit opening credits. The movie's opening credits have an 8-bit pixel art sequence, serving as a nod to the minigames in the original game series, appearing on several television screens. It shows the daily events of the pizzeria in its heyday, and the 5 missing children getting lured by Afton in the spring Bonnie suit. This happens while the original composition, Five Nights at Freddy's, not the Living Tombstone song but by the Newton Brothers, plays. Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy, also known as BB, does indeed make a cameo rather than being a central figure. He appears as a figurine, scaring Mike from inside of a locker, and then Corey X. Kenshin's driver in a post-credit scene. His appearance in the mid-credits scene hints at the possibility of him playing a larger role in potential sequels, especially considering his origin in the second game of the franchise. This scene also suggests that the animatronics, including BB, might step outside the pizzeria, potentially visiting characters like Abby in the future. That, or he's just an Easter egg and means nothing. Sparky the dog. What a world we live in. Sparky the dog appears in the film as an Easter egg. This animatronic character originated from a fan hoax in the early days of FNAF 1, created by Tumblr users Codelabert and Nugan as a 6th animatronic that would appear in the backstage parts and service room. The hoax went that Sparky was broken, only had one arm, and would never attack the player, only appearing occasionally. Sparky the dog can be seen in the parts and service room and is later used to be stuffed with Hank's body. The inclusion of Sparky serves as a nod to the dedicated fanbase of the franchise and its creative contributions over the years, and is the first time a fan-made character has made an appearance in an official piece of FNAF media. Ignoring the Fazbear Fanverse stuff, because that's not necessarily FNAF media, but it is official in the licensing of the series, you know what I mean. The Living Tombstone. Yoav Landau, otherwise known as the founder and the producer of The Living Tombstone, is an Israeli-American musician and YouTuber, best known for his original songs on well-known video games, with his FNAF music series being one of the most popular playlists on his YouTube channel. His first FNAF song is the most viewed Five Nights at Freddy's video on YouTube, with a grand total of... He's also created the songs It's Been So Long, Die in the Fire, I Got No Time, and I Can't Fix You. It was often rumored and hoped that the song would be included in the film. Lo and behold, the credit scene comes and there it plays. I was at the theater on opening night, and when that music began, I immediately jumped up, screamed, and clapped, as did everyone else in the room. It was an electrifying moment. On the same day as the film's release, The Living Tombstone released a goth remix of their original FNAF song from the first game, as well as a remaster of the original. And I honestly prefer the remaster, as you can hear certain elements in the song louder. It's like a really nice revisitation of a nostalgic classic. Talking in Your Sleep, The Romantics. In the movie, the song Talking in Your Sleep by The Romantics is featured prominently. The animatronics in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza are programmed to sing and dance to this 1983 hit song in multiple scenes, fitting well with the timeline established in the movie for when the restaurant was operational. The song adds a pretty unique ambience to the scene it's used in, aligning with the film's nostalgic theme, and not to mention the connections. Sleep is a huge theme of this movie, so like, boom.
Chris Columbus. Chris Columbus, a renowned filmmaker, was announced in February of 2018 as the director and writer for the upcoming FNAF film, also set to produce the film alongside Jason Blum and Scott Cawthon. Later in August, Cawthon shared that the first draft of the movie's screenplay, which ended up being the Silver Eyes screenplay, was completed. Despite initial approval by Columbus and Blum, Cawthon decided to discard the script, believing he had a superior story idea, which resulted in a further delay of the movie's production. By September 2021, Columbus was no longer part of the project, despite it still being in active development. The reasons for his departure have not been publicly disclosed. 2-month filming. This entry refers to the shooting period of the movie, which officially commenced on February 1st, 2023 in New Orleans, Louisiana, and concluded quite swiftly by April 3rd, 2023. This 2-month filming window, at the time, had stirred concerns among some fans of the franchise, who were worried that the relatively short production timeframe might have impacted the quality of the film. Given the complexity of the FNAF lore and the high expectations attached to the popular game series, fans were apprehensive that a brisk filming schedule may not allow sufficient time to capture the depth and intricacies of the narrative, potentially resulting in a rushed or superficial portrayal of the FNAF storyline. Whether or not that is indeed what happened is up for you to decide. Bad Cupcake. In an effort to mitigate the potential for leaks during the movie's production, the team behind the FNAF movie cleverly used the code name Bad Cupcake for all related scripts, documents, and other production materials. Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy, puppeted by Artie Esposito and Amanda Madcock and played by Grant Feely, serves as the secondary antagonist. This character, a golden variant of Freddy Fazbear, is distinctly different in his appearance, notably missing an ear and an eye. Differing from his game counterpart, he is a recolored classic Freddy with the traits of withered Golden Freddy from the second game. Golden Freddy was originally one of the 5 kids murdered by William Afton at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, leading to the establishment's closure. Through unknown means, he fell under the control of his killer and remained ignorant to the truth of who he was obeying for several years, and during that time, he murdered several people while serving Afton. While working at Fazbear's as a security guard, Mike falls asleep as he continues to go back to his memories of his brother's kidnapping. However, each night he is repeatedly confronted in his sleep by the souls of William's victims, who initially only run away from him. Eventually, he realizes they are the children who were murdered and gets to talk with Golden Freddy. Unlike before, the kid remains sitting in a squatting position as he draws a figure in the ground. When Mike approaches him, he confirms his suspicion about their identities and says they can tell him who took his brother. Nonetheless, he is unwilling to speak for free and demands something in return. Mike desperately replies he'll give them anything, but they make no agreement before Mike wakes up. Before he wakes up, however, it is revealed that the figure he was drawing was a rabbit suit. The day after his fourth shift, Mike goes back to the pizzeria in an attempt to finally get answers. Golden Freddy, however, instead offers him a dream each night of being with his deceased brother and parents who he dearly misses. Refusing at first, Mike is enticed by the idea, and Golden Freddy demands in exchange that he gives them his sister Abby. Mike initially agrees but ultimately refuses, leading GF and the rest to retaliate and nearly kill him. With negotiations having failed, Golden Freddy decides to go get Abby. He arrives at her house and promptly kills her aunt. Attracted by the noise provoked, Abby comes out of her room and mistakes him at first for Freddy. He corrects her and tells Abby that her aunt is just sleeping when she sees the body and tells her to come with him. They both then get in a taxi to go to Fazbear's, and as they arrive, Golden Freddy stays outside as Abby enters the building, disappearing as soon as she turns around. In the film's final scene, Golden Freddy observes an agonizing Afton who lies in the back room within the restaurant. When the man reaches out to him for within his suit, he closes and locks the door on him. He demonstrates the traits of a deceiver and a manipulator. Knowing he misses them, he took advantage of Mike's suffering by offering him an opportunity to reunite with his dead family in order to make him give them to Abby. He also lied to Abby, saying that her aunt was just sleeping when in truth he had murdered her. He shows deep hatred for his murderer and former brainwasher as he watches over him as he agonizes within his springlock suit. Jeez, I had a lot to say about Golden Freddy. Mary Stuart Masterson. Mary Stuart Masterson is an acclaimed American actress and film director. She has been in a plethora of films and was even nominated for a Tony Award for Best Featured Actress. She plays the icy, manipulative Aunt Jane in the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and 3. The potential for film adaptations of FNAF 2 and FNAF 3 largely depended on the success of the initial FNAF movie. As early as August 2018, Scott Cawthon hinted at the possibility of subsequent movies if the first installment resonated well with audiences. He stated that follow-up films would most likely correlate with the second and third games in the series, or could just be sequels to the first film taking elements from the games, while not being a direct adaptation. Supporting these speculations, Matthew Lillard revealed a tantalizing detail during a podcast interview with Weekly MTG in January of 2023. He disclosed that he had signed a 3-picture deal with the studios associated with the FNAF film production. Since the FNAF movie has broken numerous records, such as the highest grossing horror movie of the year and breaking Blumhouse's box office record, as well as raking in, at the time of this video, $300 million globally, a sequel is reportedly in the works. GameJolt interview. Matthew Lillard was set to participate in an AMA session on the website GameJolt, originally scheduled for June 9th of 2023. However, due to a scheduling conflict, Lillard announced that his interview would be delayed by about a month. Demonstrating his commitment to the role in the FNAF franchise, Lillard ended his announcement with an Afton quote saying, "But don't worry, I always come back," humorously adding, "Please don't hate me, I love you guys." This showed to many fans not only his dedication to the role, but his anticipation and excitement for the upcoming film at the time. However, since then, he hasn't done this interview to my knowledge. Red Eyes drama. The release of the posters and trailer in May 2023 created a stir amongst the fandom. This controversy centers around the animatronics' glowing red eyes, a distinct departure from their in-game portrayal with black eyes and white pupils. Critics, mostly from Twitter and the FNAF subreddit, found the red eyes to be corny, with some even comparing them to a 2017 SFM animation. The criticism had led to calls for the movie to re-edit the eyes, inspiring fan redesigns and memes. Yet some fans were angry about the potential of a delay that any re-editing may have caused to the film, which had been in development for such a long time, and argued that the eye color was not a significant issue to warrant such drastic measures. Some fans defended the choice, arguing that red glowing eyes had been in various parts of FNAF media, and were a sign of the animatronics in attack mode. They further theorize that the red eyes may represent periods where the children's souls were not in control of the animatronics, perhaps indicating William Afton's influence. Some even made light of the controversy, joking that more seats would be available in the theater due to those boycotting over the red eyes. In actuality, the red lights really didn't mean much and were most likely a stylistic choice, as the animatronics' eyes turned several colors throughout the film. YouTuber Employee of the Month images. This entry refers to a fun Easter egg found in the film. In one specific scene, a display case for Employees of the Month at Fazbear's Pizza can be seen, featuring images of several well-known YouTubers for their FNAF content. This list included 8-Bit Ryan, Baz, Razbowski, Fusion Z Gamer, DJ Sturf, John Wolf, and Dawko, all depicted in the pizzeria's uniforms. Corey X Kenshin. Corey Devontae Williams, widely known by his YouTube handle Corey X Kenshin, is a prominent YouTuber renowned for his Let's Play videos where he often explores horror video games, including the FNAF series. Since joining YouTube in 2009, Corey X Kenshin has amassed a dedicated following due to his engaging content and unique commentary. He's had the privilege of accessing and showcasing extended and exclusive demos for FNAF 2, 3, and 4 on his channel. Moreover, he was chosen to receive the exclusive Ultimate Custom Night demo, and his gameplay was even featured in the Steam trailer. In an exciting development for both Corey and fans of the series, his involvement with the franchise was extended to the big screen. In one scene, Corey is revealed to be the taxi driver who picks up Abby and Golden Freddy. It's only after checking his rearview mirror that Corey's character realizes his unusual passengers, leading to him talking about always picking up the weirdos in his line of work. In the post-credit scene of the film, we see him once again being jump-scared by a little balloon boy figurine. Vanessa Monroe / Vanessa Shelley. Vanessa Shelley, originally with the last name Monroe, portrayed by Elizabeth Lail as an adult and Emma Jo Tassin as a child, is one of the main characters of the film. She's a police officer who watches over the pizzeria on her police route and sees Mike at the restaurant. She informs him on service level information about the restaurant, as well as turning on the animatronics to sing and dance. She then catches Mike using sleeping pills, and talks to him by a creek about why he uses them, which prompts her and Mike to have a real honest conversation where he reveals what actually happened to his brother. Later on, Vanessa reveals that she's been lying and actually knows about the pizzeria's dark past, such as the killing of children and being stuffed into the suits. The plot takes a dramatic turn when Vanessa reveals that she is the daughter of William Afton. In the climax, when Afton reveals himself, Vanessa tries to sacrifice herself and ends up being stabbed by Afton, and is then rushed to the hospital in the film's ending. Her character is definitely inspired by the Security Breach character of the same name, despite Security Breach not taking place in the same time period as FNAF 1, but that's just movie logic, I suppose. Springtrap. Springtrap, or Spring Bonnie, Yellow Rabbit, whatever you'd like to call him. I'm gonna call him Springtrap, portrayed by a combination of animatronics, CGI effects, and Matthew Lillard, who, fun fact, did not rehearse any of his movements before shooting the scenes he was in, is the main antagonist of the franchise and the final form of Afton. After Mike discovers Afton's plan to have his daughter Abby join the other children in the afterlife, he confronts the animatronics at the restaurant. However, the animatronics are revealed to be mere pawns under Afton's control, when he, clad in the ominous Yellow Rabbit suit, is revealed. After Abby draws an image of the missing children getting killed by a yellow rabbit, this reminds the children that Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit had killed them, and they break free from William's influence. The cupcake bites off a part of William's suit, activating the spring locks. As Afton screams his catchphrase, he puts the head of the suit on and collapses as the animatronics drag him away. The costume received praise for its faithful adaptation from the game. Something notable about the costume, though, is that the suit's eyes have lights inside, which may indicate something supernatural, or that Afton just sprung for an LED upgrade. Also, when in the suit, Afton speaks through a voice changer of sorts, which could be a reference to Scream, where Lillard's character spoke through a voice changer as Ghostface. Me personally, I would like to call this iteration more like a Spring Bonnie or a Withered Spring Bonnie, because he's not fully spring-trapped yet, he's still yellow. It's just the suit is sort of like breaking and rotting and whatnot. Speaking of which, Springtrap is never actually called Springtrap in the film. He's only called the Yellow Rabbit. The 5 missing kids. This refers to the 5 children who were murdered by Afton and later stuffed inside the suits of the animatronics with their spirits possessing the robots. During his first night on the job, Mike falls asleep and dreams about the kidnapping of his little brother Garrett, and while doing so, he meets 5 children who also witness the crime, but flee when he approaches them. Mac's disappearance forces Mike to bring along Abby on his next shift, in which the animatronics befriend Abby, and Mike discovers that they are possessed by the children, whose leader constantly mentions a yellow rabbit. The next night, Abby, Mike, and Vanessa make a fort with the animatronics in what is my favorite scene from the film. However, Abby gets accidentally injured from Bonnie's guitar sparking, and Mike goes to the pizzeria the next evening alone. Meanwhile, Jane babysits a frustrated Abby as he goes back to Freddy's and falls asleep. The children appear in his dream again and tell him that he can stay with Garrett forever in exchange for Abby. Mike initially accepts this, but when he changes his mind, he's attacked and slashed by the ghost children. He then wakes up strapped to the torture device, shortly escaping. Meanwhile, Golden Freddy, possessed by the leader of the children, kills Jane and takes Abby back to the restaurant. Realizing that the animatronics plan to kill Abby and have her join them, Mike rushes to the restaurant. Abby draws a picture of William murdering the children to remind them of what happened, and then frees them from Afton's influence, which prompts them to turn on him as the characters escape. The post-credit scene shows the blonde boy leader is still lurking around the pizzeria. Totem. This refers to the artist who created the music used in the trailer. It's a really good composition that incorporates the Torter March in great ways. It's a really good track, and you can give it a listen on YouTube, so, do that. Five Nights at Freddy's, the official movie novel. This refers to the novelization of the movie adapted by Andrea Wagner. The first sightings of the novel appeared on an online book-selling platform on May 18th, 2023. Then, on June 29th, fans were shown the cover art for the book. The book released on December 5th, 2023, about a month after the movie's theatrical premiere. There actually were concerns, however, that the book may have been released or leaked ahead of schedule, potentially revealing major plot points before the movie hit theaters, but thankfully, this didn't end up happening. 3-hour cut. The rumors about a 3-hour cut of the FNAF movie were heavily talked about before release. While there were speculation and discussion online about the possibility of such an extended version, the movie ended up being an hour and 50 minutes. However, some still think we may get an R-rated or extended cut of the film, and to that, well, only time will tell. Universal Studio banners. In anticipation of the film's release, Universal started putting up banners for the FNAF movie at several of their parks, such as the Cinemark Theater at Universal City Walk Orlando or at Universal Studios Hollywood. I actually saw a few of these when I went on vacation to Universal Studios Hollywood this summer, and it was pretty surreal, I gotta say. These pictures are mine, and it was kinda nuts to see just Five Nights at Freddy's posters in a mainstream public place. Withered Foxy mask. In the background of the parts and service room, some fans think the head of Withered Foxy from FNAF 2 can be seen, and I mean, yeah, I can kinda see it, but it could just really be a coincidence. Together, we are FNAF. This phrase originated from a series of ironic memes related to the film, while some of the images were being released. These memes showed a hypothetical cliché scene in which Mike teams up with the animatronics to confront a common enemy, uttering the line, "Together, we are FNAF." This meme, which started on TikTok and spread to other platforms in early October 2023, reflect fans' fears that the movie may have relied on cheesy, overused movie tropes, and I mean, fort scene. But on the other hand, fort scene. First, I riz your brother. This refers to a meme showing a dubbed version of Afton's aggressive speech at the ending of the movie. It replaces most of the words with popular meme phrases of the time, such as gyat, riz, skibbity, sigma, and only in Ohio. Here's the whole clip.
It's perfect. First I riz your brother. Now I riz you. Skibbity, my friend.
Who the hell?
Look at you! Look at the Sigmas you've become! Look at how Elriz you are! How skibbity toilet you are! You are woke among sussy soy jacks! I gave you cats in Ohio!
Yeah, so that's a thing. I can't believe I gotta explain all these words. Dream Theory. In the FNAF movie, Dream Theory plays a significant role in Mike's character arc. The concept suggests that every detail of an experience is subconsciously ingrained in the brain. Mike becomes obsessed with a book on dream theory, hoping it can solve the mystery of his brother's abduction. The theory claims that memories are like home movies of our experiences, and Mike believes he can revisit those memories in his dreams to uncover previously unseen details and find who kidnapped his brother. However, the reliability of memories as exact records of past events is challenged, suggesting that revisiting them could lead to distortions rather than the truth. The idea of this film is inspired by the infamous theory popularized by MatPat that the entirety of FNAF 1-3 was a dream inside the mind of the crying child in a coma. Ella's Springlock Suit. Ella is a doll-like Springlock suit that is seen in the storage room alongside Sparky, with a design inspired by the doll character from the Fazbear Frights novels, but originating in the first FNAF novel, The Silver Eyes. Mike spots Ella in the corner of the room and goes over to touch the spring locks. Vanessa stops him and explains what the spring locks are, and then demonstrates their danger by pushing them with a broom. The broom is then destroyed as the spring locks close, and Mike is angered that Vanessa did not tell him earlier about the dangers of the pizzeria. Later, Abby is placed in the parts and service room on a torture chair. She's eventually caught by Chica, and the animatronic attempts to stuff Abby into the suit. Abby is eventually caught by Chica, and the animatronic attempts to stuff her into the suit. However, Mike manages to tase her before she's able to. Ella's size, implying she was meant for a child, shows she was designed by William Afton to kill a child. Come find me. At the very end of the movie, a robot voice can be heard spelling out the letters which translates to "come find me." The message is reminiscent of the Give Gifts, Give Life minigame in FNAF 2, where a robotic voice could call out letters spelling out "save them." This has spurred various theories about what it can mean. One theory suggests it could be a call from Garrett, meaning he's possibly a ghost, or possibly still alive. I know Afton said he killed him, but like, could have been lying. Or he may even be the puppet, but more on that later. Another interpretation points toward it being Afton inside of Springtrap. Given the distorted nature of the audio, it may be Afton reaching out for someone to come find him, drawing parallels to the scene from Sister Location where Mike tells William, "I'm going to come find you." Some think this means the sequel could be set in Circus Baby's Pizza World, but I highly doubt it, as Scott has said before, say in the Doco interview, that the films would follow the game's order, and so it wouldn't make the jump from one to Sister Location. Garrett Schmidt is a key character in the FNAF movie, played by Lucas Grant. He's Mike Schmidt's younger brother, tragically kidnapped by William Afton. Garrett's disappearance deeply affects Mike, who's plagued by guilt. In the film, Garrett is shown as a playful child with a toy airplane in the forest on a family picnic, who then gets abducted when Mike isn't looking. Mike tries to chase after him and sees him being taken away in the back of the car, and since then has been trying to dream the exact scenario again to figure out who kidnapped him. William Afton later then tells Mike that he killed his brother after the kidnapping and gave his toy plane to his daughter Vanessa. There is evidence to suggest that Garrett is the crying child, or maybe the puppet in future films. Garrett also was in a scene filmed at the pizzeria that was not shown in the final film edit, possibly being revealed in a future deleted scene release or the next movie. The music box tune playing at the end of the credits, along with the voice spelling out "come find me," has led many to speculate that Garrett is the puppet reaching out to Mike, and that the FNAF 2 movie will explore this. Young Mike. Young Mike is, well, young Mike, played by Wyatt Parker. At age 12, during a family picnic in the woods, he witnesses his 4-year-old brother Garrett being kidnapped. The kidnapper, clad in black, drives away with Garrett while Mike, despite his attempts, fails to save him. This traumatic experience profoundly impacts Mike, setting the stage for the movie's events and his motivations as an adult. Kim, played by Bailey Winston, is the lady in the cassette tapes of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza as the main speaker. This role marks one of the limited appearances of Bailey Winston in a major film production, her only other credit being 2014's The Best of Me. Unnamed Security Guard. The unnamed security guard appears at the beginning of the film and serves as a precursor to the main events. This guard, working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, notices the animatronics moving and is freaked out. His attempt to flee the building ends tragically as he is captured and killed by having his face shredded by the torture Freddy head. Carl is a minor character in the movie played by Joseph Poliquin. He's one of the thieves involved in vandalizing Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, sent by Jane to get Mike fired for negligence. While trying to vandalize the kitchen, he ended up getting killed by Mr. Cupcake after being cornered by Chica. Carl is actually wearing a Midnight Motorist shirt. He only plays the true classics. Maxine, played by Kat Connor Sterling, is a minor character but a fan favorite. Initially hired by Aunt Jane to gather incriminating evidence against Mike, Max serves as Abby's babysitter. Despite her questionable involvement in Jane's scheme, Max is depicted as a caring and somewhat hesitant about her role. While the vandals destroy the building, Max waits in the truck outside, but after several minutes of waiting, she decides to enter the pizzeria herself. When she enters, she finds a child, who tells her to follow him. She follows his voice to the parts and service room where she hears the child speaking from inside the Freddy Fazbear suit. She approaches it, placing a stool so that she can peer inside the mouth. As she looks closer inside of the mouth, a hand suddenly reaches out and grabs her, pulling her inside of the suit. The suit clamps its jaw down and bites Maxine's body clean in half. Her death is shown through shadows on the wall. She was then stuffed into the Shadow Freddy suit. Max also had a cut subplot with her brother, such as the line, "It's okay, I know where you live," originally being, "Stop, it's enough, you get me away from that brother of mine," as well as confirming that Max admired the sibling relationship between Mike and Abby, and wished that her and her brother could have been that close. Max was also meant to have a dog named Bonesy, a German Shepherd originally named Toby. However, in the scene entering the pizzeria, the dog is shown in the car. It is not known what became of him after the death of his owners. Sterling has shown a real love of the franchise, posting about the series and her love for the film and its characters, including vague posts about it during the SAG-AFTRA strike. Hank. Hank is a minor character played by Christian Stokes. Hank is one of the thieves who breaks into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. After witnessing Carl being attacked by Chica's cupcake in the kitchen, Chica spots Hank, prompting him to run throughout the building in an extremely funny panic as he screams. Hank runs into a storage closet to hide, only to find Bonnie in the room with him after turning on the light. Hank screams before Bonnie slowly approaches him and mauls him off-screen. Hank's body was then stuffed inside the Sparky the Dog costume. The actor Christian Stokes has also shown a real love for the franchise, going to multiple conventions and posting frequently to his social media. Dr. Lillian. Dr. Lillian is a minor character in the film. She talks to Jane, Doug, and Michael Schmidt about Abby. She helps Mike by telling him to get a job to seem clean for the judge, and also makes him feel better about himself as a caretaker. I presume she's a sort of daycare worker, or a school teacher, counselor. It's not outright said, but that's my guess. Mike's mom. Mrs. Schmidt was the mother of Mike, Garrett, and Abby Schmidt. She's only seen in Mike's dreams during the film and later revealed as dead by Mike due to unknown causes. In the original cut of the film, Mike's mother was supposed to have actually committed suicide after his father left the family, but it was cut to maintain the rating. She was played by Jessica Blackmore. 80s newscaster. This refers to a character titled 80s newscaster portrayed by Erin McCluskey. I actually have no idea if she's in the film, possibly in a deleted scene, because I can't find any image, proof, or descriptions of her character. The reveal of her character were disclosed via McCluskey's resume on Actors Access, a casting website. Mike's dad. Mr. Schmidt was the father of Mike, Garrett, and Abby Schmidt. He's only seen in Mike's dreams during the film, and it is unknown where his current whereabouts are. The only clue we are given is that he is gone and couldn't handle it, possibly implying suicide. He is portrayed by Garrett Hines. He has since been speculated to be a film's version of Henry Emily. Adam Hand Bird. Adam Hand Bird is an actor and the Superformer who was originally slated to play Freddy Fazbear in the film. Adam has had a history in the industry as he played the little boy who got sucked into the board game in the original Jumanji. However, he was seemingly later replaced by Kevin Foster. John Sanford Moore. John Sanford Moore is an actor who was originally supposed to be the Superformer for Bonnie, but as per IMDb Pro, he was replaced with Jade Kindar Martin. Stacey DePass. Stacey DePass is an actress who was originally supposed to be the Superformer for Chica, but as per IMDb Pro, was later replaced by Jess Wise. Roger Joseph Manning Jr. Roger Joseph Manning Jr. is an actor, keyboardist, singer, and songwriter who co-founded the bands Jellyfish, The Moog Cookbook, and Imperial Drag. He was supposed to be the Superformer or voice actor for Foxy. However, due to Foxy's strange proportions and withered design, he didn't need an actor to portray him like the other three animatronics. Instead, Foxy was operated by 6 different human performers using a large puppet rig. Foxy was actually voiced by veteran FNAF voice actor Kellen Goff for his pirate hums. Ted Atherton. This entry is about actor Ted Atherton and his originally presumed role in the movie. Atherton was initially thought to be cast as the Superformer for Golden Freddy, however he was recasted to actor Jade Hassan. The reason for this casting change remains unknown, leading to speculation among fans. The Puppet. In the same update to the FNAF IMDb page when Balloon Boy was revealed, so was the Puppet, who is said to be portrayed by Jane Wheeler. The weird part is we never saw the Puppet in the film. We also never saw Balloon Boy speak. We also never heard Balloon Boy speak, so this may have just been speculation on the IMDb page. The closest we got to the Puppet was the Come Find Me in the credits, but that's just a theory. That Pat retired. Birthday party scene. In February of 2023, Central Casting Louisiana posted a casting call on their Facebook page seeking kids aged 6 to 9 for a birthday party scene for a project named, you guessed it, Bad Cupcake, which we know as the code name for the film. This ended up being for the training tape scenes, which show footage of the pizzeria while it was still open in the 80s. Young Vanessa. In March 2023, Central Casting Louisiana once again put out a casting call on their Facebook page for blonde females aged 9 to 11 to portray a younger version of the character Vanessa in Bad Cupcake. The role later went to Emma Jo Tassin. Vanessa confirms later in the film that her father is William Afton and that she used to go to the pizzeria with an image that she shows Mike. It's also implied that the toy plane seen in the image and that she played with as a child was a trophy given to her by William after kidnapping and killing Garrett. Early plot reveals. On October 12, 2022, Geek Vibes Nation, a news site, shared leaked details from the FNAF movie, which included a plot synopsis and character descriptions for Mike, Abby, and Vanessa. The legitimacy of this leak was uncertain until Production Weekly, a reputable source, confirmed the same details, including filming starting on February 1st in Louisiana. Soundtrack/score. The soundtrack for the FNAF movie, released on October 27, 2023, features a score by the Newton Brothers. Originally, Tyler Bates was set to compose the music, but he was replaced by the Newton Brothers during production. The soundtrack, appreciated for blending well with the film's creepy and suspenseful atmosphere, received mixed reviews. Some critics described the music as loud and ominous, while others praised its role in enhancing the film's eerie ambience. The soundtrack album includes tracks like the opening credits theme, Five Nights at Freddy's, not to be confused with the Living Tombstone song of the same name, Mike's dream sequence, and The Yellow Rabbit, among others, totaling 50 minutes and 2 seconds in length. Jade Kindar Martin. Jade Kindar Martin is an actor and the superformer for Bonnie. Kindar Martin is known for his high-wire work in circus performances and has a background in stunt rigging and doubling in various productions. Jess Wise. Jess Wise is a superformer that played Chica. This marks a significant role for Weiss, as this is her first big screen debut. Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster is the superformer who played Freddy. That wasn't originally on the iceberg, so I wanted to add it because justice for Kevin. Jade Hassan. Jade Hassan was supposed to be the superformer for Golden Freddy, revealed through an IMDb update. However, according to RD Esposito, Golden Freddy did have a suit for an actor to wear, but it was never used as Golden Freddy is never seen walking. Therefore, I assume wasn't needed and was taken off the IMDb page. Twitter Glass Drinkware Giveaway. Blumhouse Productions organized a giveaway for an exclusive glassware crew gift from the FNAF movie. The opportunity was offered to one lucky individual who signed up for the Blumhouse News newsletter. Interested participants were directed to sign up via a specific link provided in the tweet to enter the contest. The giveaway was announced on Twitter on October 16, 2023, and garnered significant attention with over 787,000 views as of this video. Hallucination reference. This refers to a scene where Mike wakes up from sleeping in the office, and different visions and flickering lights go off, along with "It's me" being written on the mirror. This obviously refers to the hallucinations from the first game, where character images would flash and "It's me" would go across the screen. Doug. In the FNAF movie, Doug the Lawyer is a minor character who gained popularity for his comedic relief role. Portrayed by Michael P. Sullivan, Doug represents Aunt Jane in the film. He constantly appears frightened and dominated by his client in a really goofy pose. This portrayal of Doug achieved virality within the community following the film's release, leading to the creation of memes, fan cams, and reaction images featuring him. He even's getting his own YouTubes, which is just perfect. Once the novelization was released, it is said that Doug stares at Maxine's breast while waiting for Jane to arrive at the diner. This was a mistake left in the book and was addressed by Scott Cawthon a few weeks after the novelization's release, clarifying the mistake and stating it will be removed in future prints. Even the actors for Doug and Max made light of the mini controversy on TikTok. Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy is a character debuting in FNAF 2 as a distinctively purple, white-eyed recolor of withered Golden Freddy, who sits in the parts and service room. He makes a minor appearance in the film in the parts and service room. After getting killed, Max is stuffed into the Shadow Freddy suit. This version of Shadow Freddy is a recolor of classic Freddy, as opposed to withered Golden Freddy, most likely due to the withers not being modeled or possibly not being included in the film lore. That being said, however, he strangely features small, thin eyebrows much closer to the eyebrows of withered Freddy, unlike both Freddy and Golden Freddy, who both have the same eyebrows. In lead up to the film's release, there was a teaser put out of Shadow Freddy on a monitor, and this just didn't happen. It's rumored that in the second FNAF movie, Max will return as Shadow Freddy, but that's just a theory. Again! Henry Emily in training tape. The hostess for the training tape refers to a genius who created Fazbear Entertainment, which some believe are Henry Emily, which would correlate with the game lore, and like, yeah, it could very well be him, but we just don't know. It's me. It's me is a phrase from the first FNAF game that is most commonly associated with Golden Freddy. In the FNAF movie, this can be seen flashing on the mirror in the pizzeria during one of the hallucinations.
Alarm clock / pill bottle references FNAF 4.
In the FNAF movie, Mike Schmidt's use of an alarm clock and pill bottle to fall asleep, which Vanessa later finds and disposes of in a lake, could be a reference to FNAF 4. That game features an alarm clock as well as pill bottles as an Easter egg, which some fans think is a connection. You can draw a parallel between these elements and Mike's struggle with his past, particularly with his missing brother Garrett. Just as FNAF 4 is probably the crying child's nightmare, Mike's experiences may also be influenced by his subconscious mind. Trailer leak. This entry refers to an incident involving the leak of the first official trailer of the FNAF movie. After a long wait of 8 years, the film was finally given a debut date of October 27th, 2023. However, 1 month after this announcement, an unfinished version of the first trailer was leaked online. Scott Cawthon first heard about the leak while spending time at an amusement park with his children, an event that probably marred his enjoyment of the day. The trailer reportedly surfaced in 2 parts on Twitter on May 6th, displaying a recording of a screen that was covered with a watermark intended to prevent the IP's unauthorized distribution. Despite these precautions, the leak still occurred. According to Cawthon, the leak of the initial look at their efforts was frustrating, especially given his inability to immediately address the situation due to his absence. Upon his return, he was pleasantly surprised to find a substantial amount of pushback against the leak from the community, including streamers who opted not to make videos about the leaked trailer, and forum moderators who prohibited discussions about it. Cawthon expressed his encouragement and gratitude toward those in the community who refused to engage the leaked content. Interestingly, this leaked trailer was later modified and became the basis for the film's second trailer. Some scenes from the leaked trailer, however, still haven't been released in an official high-quality format. Pizzeria leaks. In late February of 2023, the production team of the FNAF movie began constructing an outdoor set for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza in Chalmette, Louisiana. This will be one of, if not the first times we ever see the pizzeria's exterior in any piece of FNAF media. The set was just built for outdoor scenes and didn't have an interior, as that was being shot on set. On February 27th, production added vines and aging to the building for the scene set in the present-day adult Mike storyline. The excitement was further heightened when Josh Hutcherson was spotted filming a scene in front of the pizzeria. The set became a tourist site for many fans who flocked to the location to take photos, share videos on TikTok, and feel closer to their favorite franchise. By March 6th, however, the set was being dismantled, and now all that remains is a vacant lot. Rest in pepperoni. First look at Freddy. On August 9th, 2022, Jason Blum shared a photo on Twitter showing an employee from Jim Henson's Creature Shop working on a miniature model of Freddy. At this stage, the model consisted of a torso, a left arm, and feet, and was made of a gray plastic-like material. Interestingly, the design of this early model appears heavily influenced by the Freddy model from Help Wanted. However, now that we've seen the final costume, it presents some significant differences from this initial model, particularly in the head and face design. Mall leak. This refers to a leaked image of a mall showing an ice cream shop with Chica's Magic Rainbow on it. Now this was a real leak, and it was confirmed by a behind-the-scenes video leak. Speaking of which, fountain punching behind the scenes. In late February, an intriguing video was leaked from the set of the FNAF movie. The 30-second clip filmed on a smartphone from behind the scenes features Josh Hutcherson as Mike engaging in a fierce fight with who he believes is someone kidnapping a child, but is actually just a father grabbing his son. In the background, the distressed cries of the man's son repeatedly shouting, "Daddy, Daddy," can be heard. An on-site source who responded to the leaked video on Twitter shared their interpretation of the scene, which had Mike involved in a physical altercation with a suspicious individual who was presumed to be a father based on the child's cries in the background, which was pretty dead on. Forest leak. On February 17th, 2023, actress Jofia Love, who plays the girl who possesses Chica in the movie, posted an Instagram story. The photo featured Love on set, perched comfortably on a chair with a forest behind her. This was the same location, and it is the same forest where Garrett was kidnapped. Further evidence pointing to the significance of this forest came from an earlier leak in February. A crew member's Instagram story provided a glimpse of a house nestled amidst a forest that strongly resembles the one featured in Love's story. The architectural style and surroundings of this house actually bear a striking resemblance to none other than the house from FNAF 4. My best guess is that this house was being used as a holding room for the actors and actresses before they had to go to set. Springtrap head leak. In early March, Instagram user RebuiltLine777 shared an image from their recent tour of the renowned Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Amidst the various photos, one particular snapshot stood out: the head of Springtrap, which had confirmed him to be making an appearance in the movie. Instead of the expected green hue, the Springtrap head appeared more orange than the one in the final film. This wasn't shown in the movie, which is strange, but possibly refers to cut scenes, maybe a future scene in the sequel. Or just the head was oddly shifted, but I find it looks substantially different from the one in the movie, but maybe that's just me. Balloon and Ember leaks. I'm putting these together. In early June, Twitter user Cult of Ember shared some props related to the FNAF movie. Among these were a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza balloon and a strip of fabric apparently from a Freddy costume. According to them, these props were a commercial that Ember was supposedly in. They also claimed that they were going to be involved with something related to helping employees put on the animatronic costumes. Regrettably, most of these tweets, including the original images and additional context, have since been deleted from Cult of Ember's Twitter account, making the details surrounding these leaks somewhat murky. The only thing that I could find that was still up was this screenshot of their tweet of the balloon and strip. Rating drama. Following the release of the movie, the debate over its MPAA rating has evolved into a discussion about the film's approach to horror. The movie received a PG-13 rating, confirming earlier speculations and leading to mixed reactions amongst fans and critics. While some fans were disappointed, hoping for an R rating to fully capture the franchise's horror essence, others felt that a PG-13 was suitable given the series' younger demographic, especially more recently with Security Breach leading so heavily into children's mascot horror. The FNAF series has been traditionally appealed to audiences ranging from 6 to 14 years old, and a PG-13 rating was seen by some as the way to balance the need to accommodate younger fans while still delivering the suspense and horror the franchise is known for. This rating was intended to ensure a broader theatrical audience, supporting the film's box office performance and setting the stage for potential sequels. Critics of the film, however, have pointed out that the PG-13 rating restricted the movie from going far enough in terms of horror and intensity. Despite this, the creators of the film, including Scott Cawthon, have maintained that the film did not hold back on horror or gore elements. There were still some intense moments though, such as Max's death, but they were done in creative ways, like through silhouettes or cutaways. Early demo version of Abby drawing scene. This refers to an early demo version of a scene that was revealed online. In this pre-production demo reel, Abby is seen interacting with Max. It's not Kat Connor Sterling as Max in the demo, just an actor for the pre-production reel. The scene has Abby showing her drawing to Max, who tries to encourage her to eat her dinner. Abby resists, leading to Max tearing her drawing away, to which Abby tells her that she's sitting on her friend. This dialogue would later be repurposed to an earlier moment in the film with Mike. Photo op location in LA. Before the film's release, a pop-up location of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had been set up in Hollywood. The building had a recreation of the sign, as well as the silhouettes of some very obviously not FNAF movie renders, but whatever. CryptTV/Rotten Tomatoes promotion. This refers to the official sponsored videos for FNAF being published on CryptTV's YouTube channel. These videos are marked with the text sponsored, which indicates that they must have been paid for by Blumhouse. The videos are unique trailers, such as people speaking about the film, reviewing or talking about the plot, or hyping up the film. As for what Rotten Tomatoes has to do with this, after doing hours of research, I can say with full confidence that I have absolutely no idea. Freddy Pancakes. On the first day of shooting, Piper Rubio, the actress for Abby, posted a story on her Instagram showing her pancakes that were shaped like Freddy. It's assumed these were provided to the actors on set, and if that's the case, that's absolutely adorable. Blumhouse seems like a really fun and welcoming company to work with, and you'll see an example of them doing something in the same vein as this later on the iceberg. So that's what leads to me believing they provided the pancakes. That, or Piper Rubio is just a really good pancake artist. Map. This refers to a map of the film's version of the pizzeria. When I originally covered the much smaller FNAF movie Iceberg by Clever Kid 12, I was unaware of what this was. They politely let me know that it was a supposed map of the pizzeria, but unfortunately I haven't been able to find it myself, so just take their word for it. Gift bag/Foxy Eye reveal. In mid-February of 2023, we got a glimpse at what many of us suspect to be Foxy's eye, courtesy of an image shared from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. The pupil was yellow and of the FNAF 1 Endo style, so it had to be Foxy. Alongside the eye, the photo also showed a gift bag featuring Toy Bonnie's face, as well as a sheet of FNAF stickers, sparking a great deal of speculation. Interestingly, and to the surprise of many, the stickers depicted in the photos weren't official FNAF design, but rather fan art. This raised eyebrows as there was no credit given to the original artist, which is weird. Most likely these stickers were purchased from an online store like Etsy, and despite the oversight, were well intentioned. Given the context, it's believed that these gift bags were prepared as thank yous to the crew members working tirelessly to bring the animatronics to life, so it's not too big of a deal. Orange Whip Grip. This refers to the design of the shirts worn by crew of the FNAF movie. The shirt features a cupcake with fire around it, with 2 pieces of camera equipment with the text Orange Whip Grip Bad Cupcake, the latter referring to the production codename. This design coupled with the text indicates that the shirt is associated with the grip department, the team responsible for building and maintaining the equipment that supports cameras. Freddy's suit behind the scenes images. Behind the scenes images were shown of the Freddy suit just before the movie was released. These images featured the mocap actor Justin Michael Terry inside of the suit. Carl's death was coincidental. I've done all the research possible into this and I just don't get this one. Carl was a willing vandal who broke into the pizzeria and got his face numb-numbed by the cupcake. I don't really know what this one's referring to. Mexican FNAF movie TikTok. This refers to a pretty strange TikTok trend surrounding the film's release in theaters. The videos usually have the text, people going to the FNAF movie in theaters, and then Mexicans, with an attached video of someone stealing a FNAF movie standee from the theater and running throughout a mall. This became a trend of people just stealing the cardboard standees from theaters, similar to the Devious Lect trend on the platform a few years ago. I've got no explanation for this one. The Entom script. The Entom script refers to an early R-rated version of the FNAF movie script, which was leaked by YouTuber Entom. The script, dated March 2022, was sent to Entom by an insider from the movie's production team. Key differences in the script from the final film include: in the opening, the guard's death is much more graphic. After being cornered by an unknown figure, he is hit over the head with a chair and dragged away, leaving a trail of blood. The scene ends with the guard's disembodied eyes falling to the ground, referencing the original Game Over screen. Steve Raglan's character is less serious and more of a troll, often irritating Mike rather than helping him. Also, this script lacks the implication that Raglan knows Mike personally. In the scene in the bedroom where Mike caresses Abby's head as she sleeps, the camera would have panned to her drawing showing the 5 ghost children and a depiction of Garrett being kidnapped. The script contains additional dialogue and scenes that provide more context to the characters' backgrounds. For example, Mike reveals to Vanessa that after his brother Garrett died, his mother, who had hoped for another son but had Abby instead, spiraled into insanity when she couldn't replace Garrett. This led to his father leaving and his mother's subsequent suicide. This script also includes much more detailed and graphic violence. Max's dog Bonesy is much more prominent in the script than he is in the actual film. He was barely in the actual film. For instance, in the scene where Jeff's gang breaks into Freddy's, Carl, instead of breaking things, decides to gleefully squirt ketchup and mustard on the walls, before being squirted in the back of the head by Chica, and is then attacked by the cupcake. We also find out that Hank is Carl's dad, and instead of running away, he tries to avenge his son by attacking Chica, only to be snuck up on by Bonnie and killed by spearing his guitar through his head. Jeff gets stabbed by Foxy, and we see his bones and brain matter. Vanessa's background is different. She lies to Mike by telling him that she worked at Freddy's and helped design his security vest, a plot point that was removed in the final film, because that would be a time paradox. After escaping Torture Freddy, Mike would have accidentally stumbled into a costume suit that would have the body of Max fall out and reveal that Jeff, Hank, and Carl were also stuffed inside the same suit, which was filled with gears, saws, and blades. Aunt Jane's death was more explicit, with her drinking and smoking before Golden Freddy's blue eye shines a ray through the smoke. In the ending, Mike would hear the voice of Garrett before turning around to see him. He would walk toward him and ask who he is, but then Garrett would disappear into the darkness of the pizzeria before Afton's glowing eyes would also peer through the darkness and he would walk out. Afton was supposed to not say anything minus a single line, and also, Afton is so evil that apparently, in this script, he can communicate with the building and begins building a laser light show for some reason. In the final confrontation, when Afton goes to stab Vanessa, she shoots Afton 4 times but misses all her shots, and then Afton stabs her. When the animatronics turn on Afton, Freddy tears open the suit mask and Chica drops the cupcake on his face like a grenade, which would have chewed through his flesh. Then apparently the building, responding to Afton's pain, would become alive and hellishly groan, a detail that was definitely not in the final movie. Then the ending would have Mike and Garrett sitting in the forest, where Garrett would reveal that he forgives Mike, and the rest would continue as usual. Yeah, it's really interesting. I was into most of it until the living building, but if you want to hear more about this, please go and watch Entom's video on the topic. It's a really good video. Markiplier cameo. Markiplier, the king of FNAF, was initially set to have a cameo in the movie as the security guard killed at the beginning. They had even prepared his costume for the role. Unfortunately, Markiplier had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts with his own movie, Iron Lung. However, there's still hope that he may appear in the future sequels of the movie, considering its success. Mike's dad is his stepdad. There's been considerable speculation about the identity of Mike Schmidt's father. Originally in the video games, Mike's father is portrayed as William Afton. However, the movie adaptation diverges from this plotline. Mike is not related to William Afton in the film, which has led fans to theorize who his real father might be. One prevailing theory suggests that Mike's father could be Henry Emily, the founder of Fazbear Entertainment and the creator of the original animatronics in the game lore. This theory is based on several clues throughout the movie, including Afton's pause before reading Mike's surname during a career meeting scene, possibly suggesting recognition of the name. However, it's important to note that the film's director, Emma Tammy, confirmed in an interview that Mike Schmidt is not Michael Afton, and related to William Afton in the movie. This was evidenced when Afton says Mike's full name at the end of the movie. This might be a coincidence, but a connection could be made to The Immortal and the Restless, where a line, "Clara, the baby isn't mine," is uttered by a vampire dressed in purple named Vlad, arguing with his wife. Could this possibly be a connection to Mike's stepdad and his mom? Or is William denying his young son? Another explanation is that for some reason Mike was placed in the foster care system. From there, he may be adopted by the Schmidt family, which included a daughter named Abby and a brother named Garrett. Another theory proposes that Mike's mother may have remarried after William's disappearance, arrest, or any other circumstance that the movie didn't show us. In this case, Mike could have been young or not even born when his mother remarried, making his dad actually his stepdad. The Bite of 83 scene. Now that the movie has been released, we know it did not include the highly anticipated Bite of 83 scene, a significant plot point that basically kickstarted the series' lore. This event involves a boy who we're gonna call Evan. It's not his name, but I'm calling him Evan, so shut up. Who suffers a fatal head injury caused by the Fredbear animatronic during his birthday party caused by his brother, Michael Afton. Before the film's release, there was speculation that this scene may be included, especially since Mike was described as being riddled with guilt over a tragedy in his past. This description had led many to believe that this was referencing the bite he caused. However, this was actually just referring to Garrett's abduction. Springlock scene uncut. This most likely refers to the R-rated version of the Springlock scene where Chica drops her cupcake into the suit and tears apart Afton's flesh, which we've already talked about, so we can move on. The cold open guard is Phone Guy. This refers to the theory that the guard in the opening is actually Phone Guy. I mean, it makes enough sense. Phone Guy in FNAF 1 states he was the guard that would be before the current night guard and does get killed by the animatronics during one night, but that's really all the evidence there is. There's no evidence of him recording tapes, and he didn't die while recording a message, so I don't think it's Phone Guy, but you know, there's a theory. Deleted scenes. The FNAF movie had several scenes and elements that were considered but ultimately not included in the final film. Despite the absence of deleted scenes in the DVD extras, information has emerged about what could have been. A behind-the-scenes photo revealed Garrett holding a plushie of Fredbear. The context of this image, whether it was part of a planned scene or simply a candid set photo, remains unclear, but it can possibly link the crying child from FNAF 4 to Garrett. In an original draft of the movie, Max's death was envisioned differently. Instead of being Bite of 83 by Freddy, she was to die covered in spilled blue paint. In the post-credit scene featuring Goryeg's Kenshin with the Balloon Boy figurine, the script originally called for him to exclaim, "What the flip?" but not the word flip, the other word. This explicit reaction was ultimately removed from the final version of the film. The Warner Bros. Version. This entry refers to the initially planned live-action adaptation of FNAF. The movie was supposed to be directed by Gil Keenan, known for his work on films like Monster House and The City of Ember, and distributed by Warner Bros. The plot was intended to focus on lore of the games, including major events such as the Bite of 87 and the missing children's incident. However, the Warner Bros. Version of the film was ultimately cancelled due to several obstacles. First, the technical challenge of getting the animatronics to work properly on set posed a significant problem. Moreover, Warner Bros. Was unable to maintain the film rights to FNAF, contributing to the cancellation decision. The project was also stalled by incomplete narrative elements. The closure to the pre-AAA FNAF storyline, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, hadn't been released at the time.
There's speculation that the film may have been scrapped in favor of other projects like Ready Player One and a Minecraft film. Another contributing factor was the extensive director audition process, eventually leading to Scott Cawthon's announcement of the cancellation on Steam and social media. It's also speculated that the budget required for the movie might have been more than Warner Bros. Was willing to invest. Furthermore, there was difficulties in defining the plot of the movie that were never resolved. Notably, Scott was not satisfied with the direction Warner Bros. Was taking the story. This dissatisfaction led him to approach Blumhouse Pictures to take over the project. Despite these setbacks, a few teasers were released during the production phase, featuring glimpses of different animatronic parts, an Easter Bunny costume, and what fans speculated could have been Foxy's muzzle and eyeballs. Warner Bros. Animatronic references. Remember those images of what I told you were supposedly from the animatronics from Warner Bros. Version of the FNAF movie 3 seconds ago? They actually weren't. They were actually from an entirely different resource and were being used as references for the animatronics in the film. I'm sorry I lied to you guys, but I had to keep this one a surprise. So really, we have no idea what the Warner Bros. FNAF designs would have looked like. The Banana Splits movie is the Warner Bros. FNAF movie. The Banana Splits movie is a 2019 American comedy horror film and serves as a reimagining of Hanna-Barbera's children's TV series of the same name. Directed by Danishka Esterhazy and written by Jed Ilinoff and Scott Thomas, the film depicts the characters of the Banana Splits as robots who embark on a killing spree after learning of their show's cancellation. The FNAF connection can be traced back to Scott's dissatisfaction with the original Warner Bros. Script before Blumhouse had acquired the rights. The original FNAF script was criticized for its overly simplistic take on the FNAF lore, where plush toys come to life in a stereotypical horror setting. Scott took the movie in a new direction with Blumhouse. Warner Bros., left with a script that had been developed for FNAF, seemingly repurposed it for the Banana Splits. This could explain the unusual deviation in the movie from the original TV show, where the characters were mascots rather than robotic animatronics. Beyond this, there are just several parallels between the movie and the FNAF lore. The film features an older brother and a fanatic younger sibling, resembling the relationship between Mike and his brother. There's a security guard character who warns of animatronics wandering at night, echoing Phone Guy. A weird old man makes and corrupts the animatronics, becoming their father figure, and is clearly a lunatic, which is definitely an Afton parallel. There's a mysterious, unfinished fifth animatronic, which may seem like a Chica reference, but is clearly supposed to be Golden Freddy, that results in a girl taking her identity and becoming insane, which could be a Cassidy parallel. The animatronics interact with the kids just fine, but they murder almost every adult they come across. A certain oddball animatronic of the group, Snorky, is supposedly friendly, and has a sequence where he chases someone down a hallway, which definitely echoes Foxy and the old Foxy is a good guy theory. An animatronic gets his arm torn off, similar to Withered Bonnie, sort of implying this might have been a Withered animatronic origin story. The film ends with the Withered animatronic still active, hinting at a potential sequel. A FNAF 2, if you will. The Warner Bros. Script still exists. It's not uncommon for scripts of cancelled or altered film projects to surface online, piquing the curiosity of fans. From leaked scripts of cancelled horror movies like It, Halloween, and Friday the 13th, to those of various other genres. Speculation is now rife regarding the possible existence and eventual leak of the original script for the FNAF movie by Warner Bros. The script was penned by Tyler Burton Smith before Scott moved it to Blumhouse. Scott is known for his meticulousness and preference for working solo, making leaks from his projects highly unlikely. Yet, the original FNAF movie involved a larger team, opening the door for the possibility of a leaked script. In an intriguing event back in 2016, Scott copyrighted the names of the animatronics for Sister Location ahead of schedule, knowing well it would be leaked. When people found out, he said this: "No worries guys, the characters needed to be copyrighted, and I knew this would get out. Have fun speculating, haha." This suggests his openness to early speculation. Could this attitude hint toward a possible acceptance toward the leaking of the original script? It remains uncertain. In the shadowy archives of Warner Bros. Or in some obscure corner of the internet, the original untouched FNAF script still might exist. Whether it will see the light of day we can't say for certain, but in the deep recesses of the unexplored possibility, one cannot help but sense wonder. The possibility is interesting, and we'll just have to wait and see. And that was the new Ultimate FNAF movie Iceberg. I haven't come up with a name yet. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload. This was a joy to put together, and it was really fun getting the chance to revisit this topic. Once again, I send a huge thank you to Clever Kid 12 for this movie Iceberg chart.
Also, just reminding you, if you want to see more of my content, I have a second channel called The Lil T Show, where I make skit-based videos about gaming as a whole, reviews, retrospectives, etc. So if that sort of thing interests you, go check that out. We just crossed 1,000 subscribers and we're trying to get the channel monetized. So if you would like to support me whatsoever, please go and subscribe and check it out. Thank you. I've been Average T, and I'll see you on the flip side.